Day by Day with Rabia Wahid. It's life as we live it on Radio Cardiff. Good afternoon, Cardiff. This is Rabia Abdul Wahid, and you are tuned in to Day by Day. It's 20th of July, 2022, and I guess it's the hottest summer we have ever had. I do not know about you, but I am not doing well in this summer, and this heat is much too much for me. I know we should start the program with a positive note, but I'm hoping you guys are enjoying the weather and lots of sunshine out there, lots of warmth. And with the summer vacation coming up, you guys are, I'm hoping, have got plans to go away and, like I said, have fun. Saying that, we have our guest with us online. We're going to go and speak to her and find out all about her. In the meanwhile, if you would like to contact us, you may contact us on our Twitter handle, which is @Radio Cardiff, or simply email me, rabia@radiocardiff.org. Cardiff, stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, and you are tuned in to Day by Day, and I'm coming at you from 98.7 FM Radio Cardiff. This is your host, Rabia Abdul Wahid, and on the phone we have the holistic transformational life coach, Uzma Naqvi, and we're gonna go ahead without wasting any time and speak to her. Hi, Uzma, how are you?
Hey, I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you very much. Just a bit touch hot. It's too much for me, this weather.
Absolutely, gosh. We love the heat, but I think this year has topped it all. So
yes,
I don't think it's set to last too much though. But
No.
yeah, it is quite hot.
I think we do need officially. Every house needs air conditioning now. That's
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome to our show. It's your first time. Our listeners, I'm sure, are excited. At the same time, quite curious to know all about you. So without further ado, just go ahead and tell our listeners, what do you do? What is holistic transformation? And what kind of life coaching do you do?
Well, first of all, Rabi, I wanted to say thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here with you. And assalamu alaikum to all your listeners. I hope that I can help you understand sort of moving forward in life, which is what coaching is mainly about. Mm-hmm. So I'm a holistic transformational life coach, which means that I look at a person in a very holistic way, sort of look at where they are in life. See, being in difficult places is not a real issue because everyone has something that they're dealing with. And most often than not, what we find is that the very big issues that we've had to deal with are the very big things that are helping us to move forward in life and become a very, very better version of ourselves. The bigger problem, more than the actual problems, is being stuck and staying stuck without a real plan to move forward. Mm-hmm. So my whole work is around sort of understanding where people are in their lives and what they feel stuck with. Often people come in with many, many, many different types of triggers, be it relationship issues or, inner sort of conflicts or, lack of confidence or anxiety and stuff like that. But upon exploring, we go deeper and sort of find out where this originates from. And really the whole point of it being holistic transformational coaching is basically to get to the root cause. Mm-hmm. And figure out what is actually causing those triggers. Because the triggers are just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that this person is dealing with. And once we get to that, it is that we start with and then use the actual pain to spring forward into life in a very powerful, very meaningful way.
I see. You call it holistic. Is it holistic because there's no medication involved. Not that obviously you have to go to a qualified doctor and yada yada yada, because therapists also often say, or even life coach say, you need to go and get some medicinal help and yada yada yada. So the word holistic, would you like to elaborate on that a bit?
Yes, good question. So when it comes to holistic, so first of all, I'm not a medical professional, so I do not have the provision to be able to say, take medication or stop medication. So I don't give any advice on medication. I do, so there's two ways that I'm referring to when it comes to holistic transformational life coaching. One, holistic means that this getting to the root cause of the issue. So really understanding where this is deriving from. And more often than not, we find that a person, for example, who consider themselves a people pleaser, a person who likes to get validation from other people, a person who doesn't have much confidence, a person who lacks self-esteem or self-worth. All of these very much kind of go back to the childhood traumas. So we often carry certain things from our very young age, where we were not taught to express our emotions in a correct way, or we were told to adhere to certain sets of rules that went against our essence that we were originally born with, and often that ends up changing us as a person and becoming a different version of ourselves that is according to other people. And so a child that's brought up in that kind of a way will grow up to continue that behavior and adhere to everyone else, and lose a sense of identity, lose a sense of belonging, lose the sense of purpose, and not really know who they are, what they want, and not have that satisfaction in life. So that's one of the reasons that I call it holistic, is like going right down to where this started from. Where is the first time that you really felt this feeling, and how do we kind of anchor that and come back to the present day and really merge the two and understand how to move forward from that. And the other reason I use a holistic word is because my coaching method isn't just about a particular problem. So I don't just deal with marriage issues or just the mind or anything. It's very holistic in the sense that it delves a lot deeper. So if we ever want to heal our core, and if we want to kind of understand the depth of where the pain originates from, then not only do we have to integrate the root cause and really understand where it's coming from, but also obviously the mind is a massive part of it. But the element that I normally find, and having been through a lot of therapies and counseling and lots of things like that myself, what I found that was missing, the biggest element, was the soul and the spirit aspect of a human being. A lot of the times the kind of therapies that we end up going to usually consider the mind. So they give us a lot of tools to kind of use our mind, which is very powerful, by the way. It really helps us make a lot of shifts, really helps us to know how to move forward. But still, it feels like often when I speak to people, it's like, I've been through this coaching, I've been through that therapy, but I still feel like there's something missing. And that is because a whole dimension of us has been missing from that, because we're not one-dimensional beings. We're not just physical beings. We're not just a mind person. We're way beyond than that. We're very complex as beings. So we have to kind of look at an approach that encompasses all of us. And the third way that I look at this in a holistic way is particularly my signature program called The Universe Within You. It starts with the mind. So there are four main sort of areas that we cover, and starts with the mind. So really getting to the depth of how it works, what's happening, what you have programmed in there that isn't functioning for you anymore, that isn't serving you. But then it goes into the inner bonding. This is where we kind of really get into the pain aspect, what you're carrying internally. But then the other aspect is and then the third part is where it goes into the outer world. So we really connect the new learnings and what we found to, I do 6 different topics within that. So there is your physical well-being, there is marriage, there's parenting, there's social cycles, so all the other people that we know around us, there's career, and then there's money. So it really looks at all of your life. And then it goes into the fourth module, where we kind of really connect it all together and create a really powerful vision for our life and understand our purpose in life.
Great, amazing. How long? How long is the course? What's the duration of your course? If let's just say one of our listeners want to, to start with, we need to know where to go, and we'll put all your social media on our Insta and the like. But how long is the course usually?
So the course is a year long at the very least. Sometimes it can be slightly longer depending on if we take any breaks or how it runs. Because a year is a long time. A lot can change in that. So, and the reason I don't just do short courses, there are a lot of short courses available. And actually, I began with like the initial cohort that I did was only 16 weeks. So I also began with, but I very, very quickly learned that when you're looking for a transformation, it takes time. And we shouldn't kid ourselves, and we should really be acknowledging the fact that when we are trying to change and make a paradigm shift internally, it has to be nurtured. It has to be, new habits have to be created. It has to be very systematically done. And for that, you require time, effort, repeated energy poured into something, pure focused energy poured into something. And that can take quite a long time, which is why it's a whole year-long program, which we work on all these different areas of our life.
Keeping all the confidentiality, of course, just give us some idea, or our listeners some idea, what kind of problems are the, I'm calling them problems, what kind of, they are kind of a problem, what kind of problems do you see often? Like people come to you, or I would say your clients come to you with a problem. What is the most common thing that they come to you about?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So if you can just, imagine people around us, and when we have conversations with our loved ones, with people that we know very close, a lot of the times it's very surface-based stuff that they're dealing with. So you might have a conversation with someone and they've got something important coming up, and one of the things that will come up in the conversation is, I really feel not very confident to deliver this, or there'll be some issue with a relationship in their life, or there are certain triggers. So every time I go to a certain place or hear a certain type of voice, or people talking to me in a certain way, it really triggers me. Or maybe even anger issues, or different stuff that we're dealing with in our life. It could be anything. And this is why it's very, very important to hear that first trigger, because that shows us why that person is feeling that way. A lot of the times, I work with Muslim women mainly, and a lot of the times what I hear, one of the main problems is that women who have been mothers, and they've kind of lost themselves along the way. So it's almost like, I really knew who I was. I was a different person altogether. Then I became a mother, a wife and a mother, and I really got into that. I was very engrossed. I had a lot of time that I gave, and all of my energy was put into building my family. And then I feel like, well, who am I? What are my likes? What do I want? I'm really not sure where to start. And it's that sense of feeling lost and not really having a purpose in life, and feeling like, I want to grow. I know that there is more to life. I just don't know what that is. I can't put my finger on it. And it's really guiding that person using these very initial triggers to understand, where is it that this loss of feeling comes from? And a lot of the times, like I said, these triggers take us right back to their childhood of, perhaps fears of abandonment, perhaps fears of rejection, where certain things were done. And when I say traumas, I think it's really important to clarify that traumas aren't necessarily really major things, because when we say trauma, we think of domestic violence situations, wars, we think of divorces, we think of, really or big children, stuff like sexual abuse, big, massive.
As well,
And of course, those are traumas, and they are, breaking traumas that, that stick with you for a lifetime until you work on them. But the traumas can be anything, from not having the space to be able to express your feelings, not being taught how to use your emotions to your advantage, not being given the space to be who you are, being compared, being forced to share, being put in a place where you are jealous but being shamed for it, being told certain things where you're made to feel guilty for, being a certain way, talked down to in a certain, all of these different things that we don't consider to be too much. I often hear people, we had that kind of a childhood and I did all right. Why can't children of today, they feel too sensitive? But I just think, when we dismiss emotions like that, it grows to be bigger. And what our mind ends up doing is that we already carry these different traumas and emotions inside of us. And then our mind goes about collecting so many thousands of evidences along the way. And so by the time you're an adult, that has become a very big core belief, and it's what you operate on. So it really does shape the person that you become eventually as an adult.
Wow, marvelous. So, tell us a little bit about you. I mean, obviously, our listeners are interested knowing how did you just get up one day and said, that's it, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to try and help people and transform them. Give us a little bit of your background, and how did you decide to become a
life coach?
How do I put it, holistic transformational life coach?
So thank you for asking that question. Basically, life coaching came to me. I didn't go to it. I was working in a governmental department for 20 years of my life. I was in a senior management role there. I was doing quite well, and it was paying the way for me and bringing up my family in a nice, quiet way. But life happened along the way, continuously. I'm actually in the process of writing my first book, which I hope to publish very soon. And that's the journey of myself. And along the way, there's like different lessons that I've learned that I think can help people come out of their darkness. But life happened to me in such a way that I wanted to give up. I'm somebody who attempted suicide on a very, very serious way 5 times in my life. I was very, very broken in many, many different ways. Unfortunately, I've had a divorce more than once, and it's just the journey of it, from many different types of abuse to getting to a point where I had to get to that point where I speak to a lot of women and losing that sense of purpose. I don't know who I am. I don't know why I'm here. I don't know what purpose I serve. So it's better that I leave this world. And when my attempts failed, that one of the biggest things that really changed my life was during one of these very, very dark moments where I felt like it's the end and I should just leave this world, and I think the world will be a better place without me. I came across a quote that I had read many times before, but it just didn't impact me in the same way. I think I had to be in that emotional state to be able to really pick something from it. And the quote goes something like this. It says, "Your sickness is from you, but you do not perceive it. And your remedy is within you, but you do not sense it. You presume you're a small entity, but within you is enfolded the entire universe. Therefore, you have no need to look beyond yourself. What you seek is within you, if only you reflect."
Wow.
And this quote literally stopped me in my tracks. I remember I was like burying my face in the pillow before reading this and just crying it out. And I read this and it just stopped me, like really made me think, wow, the sickness I definitely feel. I know that's in me, but the remedy is within me too. Where is that? And that really got me. And then the universe, like who's ever seen the end of the universe, especially with these new images going around, like James Webb stuff that everybody's, that's how immense the universe, like no one's ever seen the end of it. So if I can think that I have a universe within me, then there is way more to me than I see. Than I feel.
That's interesting, because people do say life will always be the hardest when you are crossing over a new level. Don't get discouraged. So maybe you were on that, crossover. Anyway, continue, please. And then what happened?
Yeah. So it just really got me to reflect, because how the quote ends is, if only you reflect. So I then started to really kind of pick on this and started to figure out what this means, because I definitely felt sick, but I didn't know any part of me that had the remedy, because I was so drowned in sorrow, and I just couldn't understand. Like, it was just very, very dark for me. And I guess that's where it started, because it was such a powerful quote. It hit me, and I revere it so much, because every time I read it, it helps me to understand you can be in that dark place, but instead of seeing it as a dark place, see it as being the seed that's been sown now to be growing as a whole new being altogether. And so that's where I started to do my research, started to look at myself in a more dissected way. Okay, so I'm not just the pain that I'm feeling right now. There is a reason that I'm feeling this pain. And that, that's one of the things that I talk a lot to my clients about, that every time we come to a point of suffering, particularly the suffering that feels like this is going to kill me, I don't know what's going on anymore, life doesn't make sense. When you get to that verge, you're on the cusp of a breakthrough. And sadly, most people either stay stuck there or give up. And it's so sad, because that is where the growth lies. That is where the next version of you is literally around the corner. If only you do a little bit more digging. And the beauty is that every single thing that you need, every tool, everything that you need to be able to do the digging and to be able to get to this new version is already in there. Which is what the quote says. You presume you're a small entity, but within you is enfolded the entire universe. So you already have everything you need. All you need is the guidance to be able to utilize those tools. Tools like intuition. I already have or always had a voice that spoke to me. And I'm not talking about the critical voice that says, you're ugly, you're no good, you're not good enough for any capacity. But it's the other sound in the wise sound in me was already there, but it's drowned in the midst of so much noise of the world and so much hatred that you carry for yourself. And so once you learn these tools and techniques, that really put me on a track to sort of do self-search and do my own healing. So I got into the healing process and really kind of the childhood traumas that I had been carrying, really started doing some self-work around that. And it just totally changed my outlook on life entirely. And I love my life now. I mean, I'm so grateful every morning when I wake up. I couldn't ever dream of shortening this, and I hope that I have more time here to make as much an impact that I can, inshallah.
That is quite a transformation then. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah.
Great. So Uzma, if our listeners, I'm just going to interrupt here. If our listeners want more information, you can find them on our social media, as well as you can go to UzmaNaqvi. That is uzmanaqvi.com, and you can find everything there about Uzma. I do have a tradition, Uzma. Before we say goodbye to our guests, we have 2 questions.
Sure.
One of them is, if you want me to play your favorite song, I'll do that for you. So you can think about your favorite song. Another is, if you had just one message from this interview, you wanted our listeners to take away with them, metaphorically take home with them, what would that be? It could be anything.
So my message would be the message that I wish somebody gave me when I was in that dark place. And that is, when you're feeling upset and triggered and unsure and confused and like life doesn't mean anything, don't stop there. That is the beginning of your inquest. I cannot emphasize enough in words. I wish I had the articulation to be able to say it in such an impactful way that everyone does this. But invest in yourself relentlessly. Like, do not stop doing that. I'm a coach myself. I have 4 coaches, and I have 4 coaches all the time. I never let one go, because as soon as one comes to an end, I purchase it again, because investing in yourself means that you are building a circle around you that is always going to uplift you, that is always going to show you the next path, next way, because there is no end to this journey. You are always enhancing. It's a cradle to grave journey. So when you get to one level and you feel like, I've accomplished this, there is always the next level, because the universe has no end and you are the universe. So don't stop. Keep going and find the right people. Fit in with them. Ask the right questions. Do not get stuck. You do not have to stay with the pain, but the pain is there with a huge gift. And if you don't look for it, you won't find it.
I think that's the beautiful message, and it says it all. And if you have a request, we'll go ahead and play that for you.
I was trying to think, but I don't know. Can I put this back on you?
Absolutely. We'll find an amazing song for you that you will enjoy, and our listeners will enjoy. Uzma, thanks ever so much for taking the time out and speaking to us. I understand that you specifically help Muslim women, and being Radio Cardiff being, radio of diversity as well. I just thought to bring this to our listeners today. But at the same time, even if you're not, if you don't belong to Muslim faith, you can still approach Uzma, and I'm sure she'll be able to help you. On that note, Uzma, I would like to say goodbye to you. We wish you all the luck in the world, and hopefully we'll have you back on the show again.
Thank you so much for your time. And yes, absolutely. Just wanted to reiterate what you just said. Although I cater mainly to Muslim women because our community needs a lot of help and support, particularly the women, but I am open to working to anybody, and I do work with a lot of different diverse people. So no stoppage there. Thank you once again for the opportunity. It was great connecting with you, and I hope we can connect again soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, listeners, that was Uzma Naqvi, and great chat. I really enjoyed it, and it was quite informational as well. Holistic transformational life coach. Now we understand what that means, and I hope that you understand what that means as well. Uzma left it on me to play a song. Oh my God, I want to feel uplifted after all that. So let's just have a surprise there. I'm gonna leave you with a surprise song and an uplifting number. Take very, very good care of yourselves. Lots of sunscreen. I know it's a cliche. Lots of water. Keep hydrated, and enjoy the weather, but safely. I will speak to you, or you will hear from me next week. Until then, take very, very good care of yourselves. Thanks ever so much, and goodbye.
To society, baby. The police wanna relocate me. They running with, but they can't fake me. They wanted to come up, but they ain't crazy. I ride one in the 6 tray Chevrolet rolling without no top. Got them hydraulics just dumping and making it drop. California to Virginia to me making it hot. Taking long rides in a G4 plane. X-Men to the stage, got them going insane. Yeah, got the world saying my name. I'm about to make a little change, I'ma keep it the same, you dig? X to the Z, baby. Run up on your hidden corners, phantom break, come on. X be the life of the party. Don't be scared, girl, reach out and touch somebody. In a Maybach Benz. You wanted to party, but I got biz. This ain't entertainment, I feed my kid. On a 405 in the carpool lane. Gotta hit some corners, I'm riding the game. Wanna ride out to an island and tan your frame and just waste away a couple of days. Holler back at me. Look where I'm at. Make the crowd get loud like the sound of a LA on my baseball hat. Where they running right up on you in that black on black. Gotta bounce like a mother when brothers got masked. The war with each other. Ain't seen big, not ready to die yet. My militant mindset got you running for cover. So yo.